Hi there, I'm Kendall Hoeft. I am a life coach who empowers women to live fully, fiercely, and free. In this video, we're going to be talking about some of the reasons behind why it's so hard to be yourself. We hear, be yourself all the time, but sometimes it's, hi Brittany, sometimes it's so difficult to actually exist or be in the world in the fullness of our expression, in the fullness of who we actually are. To give an example, I'm talking about things like you feel like dancing to the music, but you hold back because you should be an adult. Or maybe you want to wear red lipstick or crazy purple nails, but you're like, oh, that's a little this or that, and like, I shouldn't do that, and you suppress yourself, basically. You suppress your exploration, you suppress your experimentation, and your creativity and your freedom. Well, one of the reasons that it can be very hard to be ourselves is the childhood identity that we maybe still carry. If we were in a certain kind of dysfunctional family role as a child, sometimes we feel like we have to be that role all the time. And sometimes the childhood roles are true to a part of ourselves, but they don't encompass all of who we are. Some of these roles could be the quiet one, well, I don't want to cause any problems, I just want to blend in. And so if that person now wants to like start a band or do something more vocal, they feel like they can't because they feel like that's just not me. I'm more of a back in the background type or whatever. And they're afraid that if they change or evolve or grow, that people will judge them and be like, oh, I thought you were all shy. What happened? Or people will make comments, and they just basically feel very limited and suppressed to being in a box, to being the same part of themselves that they were maybe forced into for survival or just because that's what was expected of them as a child. So I'll share my own story so you can have an example. My role was the hero or the achiever. And I was always having to achieve and having to do something to make myself feel value. And so because I got all this affirmation and love and praise for my achievements and my successes and always being responsible and always being on time and always having my shit together, that became something that as a child I found my sense of identity in. And I felt the pressure to continue to live on that pedestal, to continue to be responsible. Hi, Panda. For everyone else in my life. And, things were my fault, things were my responsibility, and I was just bearing that burden, which is really too much for a child. So you learn to pretend to be what others either need you to be for survival. For instance, if you're like, your mom's a single mom, maybe you stepped up into that role to kind of play a husband figure because that's what she needed. And it wasn't totally true to all of what you were, especially as a child when it's your time to be carefree and spontaneous and creative and playful and trusting and innocent and pure and just being a kid. You had to step into this role. And maybe you're stuck in your life now. You feel like you can't be, hi Sadie. You feel like you can't be responsible. You feel like you can't be fun. You feel like you can't be silly or joyful or happy because, well, I'm the responsible one, and if I don't keep track of things, then it's all going to go to hell. And I have to be the one. I have to be the hero. I have to be the savior. If it's not me, then everything will crumble. And it's a lot of burden to be holding on to. So what I'm suggesting here is that we can come to an understanding that, hey, I feel this pressure to be the scapegoat or the responsible one or the achiever, but I understand now as an adult that was a role that I played. That wasn't fully me. Like maybe it contained some elements of your identity, but it was a mask. Ultimately, you learn to act like someone else other than yourself, like an actor pretending to play a part in a movie. You learn to pretend to be what others needed you to be what others expected you to be. In many of my years of life, I've been a teacher, and I am a teacher and I love teaching, but because of that, I've been kind of stuck in this role of like dressing appropriately and being an example. Hi, good to see you. Codependency, totally. And, you're a role model and you're this and that and people look up to you and it's a lot of pressure. And I think that It's so good to release yourself from others and to understand that it's your life. You're not responsible for their life. You're just going to live your life, you know, as you live it, and trying to be as authentic and full of integrity and true to who you are, full and abundant and generous. And that's all you're responsible for, is just your life and yourself. Now, being yourself in freedom and in love and in a true, authentic overflow is going to totally be great for the people around you. It's going to give them permission to live their lives and to do the same. But when we feel that we have to carry the burden of other people's choices and other people's lives, yeah, that's too much. And I'm really releasing that in my life. And I just want to encourage you guys that you don't have to play that role anymore. You know, maybe you were the clown as a kid. And in order to ease family tension, you cracked jokes and you used humor to sort of make people feel a little better and ease the tension. And that's, you know, you probably actually are funny. Like, you probably actually have skills in humor and in comedy, and that's amazing. But that's not all you are. You can show up into a friendship and not have to be the funny one or the joker. You can exist honestly in that moment and be sad. You can exist and have a serious conversation. You can exist and it not be you needing to have to feel like you have to perform in order to get that attention, that approval, that love, that affirmation, that praise. Like, you're more than just that. You're more than just the funny person. You're more than just the jester. I'm more than just the responsible achiever. I have a wild side. I'm a rebel. I like to be carefree. I like to break the rules, not because I like to be free. And so it's hard for me to break the rules, but there's a part of myself where I just want to run and dance and enjoy life and go in the park and say hello to people and do things that maybe aren't societally acceptable. And so it's like I'm torn, because the achiever, perfectionist, workaholic, responsible role that I was always placed in fights that spontaneous, carefree. One is overthinking and worrying, and I'm considerate and I should have known better and I don't want to make careless mistakes and I can't. And the other side's like, YOLO, live your life. Like, it's okay. You're good. Have some fun. Let loose. Be yourself. Enjoy your expression. And I feel like this is kind of really who I am. And this is who I had to be acceptable in my family of origin. And so I'm breaking out of that shell. And I just wanted to encourage you guys. Hope and freedom, guys. You got this. You're awesome. You're amazing. Be awesome today, as my little candle says. If you're watching on YouTube, I invite you to subscribe to my channel for more videos. And of course, you can always comment on this video or like it. I love to interact and engage with you. Namaste. Bye.